Alright, hello everyone. Forgive the video if it's not the best quality. It was Beta Engineering to make a hanging tripod for my ceiling. Today I got a lot of work to do. Discovered some problems with my ponytail bonsai and making some changes to my soil, to kind of learning as I go. Having problems with the light changes and moisture and drainage and things like that. So thought I would share as mix up my soil, make some changes, repot some things, and go over some of the stuff I got. So I hope you enjoy, and thanks for checking out the video. Right now I'm kind of experimenting with, I don't have a lot of money into the budget of this project, so for my soil I've been doing a lot of recycling and composting, and I've seen some videos about packing peanuts and different things you could use for as far as drainage, I guess in place of the vermiculite or perlite. Today I'm using leftover styrofoam from Christmas. Seen some videos where people said it was good, it worked. Seen some videos where people said it was bad. So, I guess it's everybody's individual experience. So, I'm going to finish breaking up some of this in the dirt, and I'm going to be adding some sand to hopefully kind of give me a little better drainage and a little air circulation in my dirt, to kind of balance out where I don't have as much heat as before, where I was running all my hot lights. So give me just a second here. Hopefully I can photo edit or video edit some of this stuff out of here, so you don't have to sit through this whole process with me. So bear with me for just one moment and we'll start potting. Alright, now what I'm going to be doing is adding some sand to the mix to give it just a little better drainage and water flow. Not sure exactly what ratio I'm mixing this at or anything. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, nothing scientific. Hopefully this will help out a little bit, kind of balance it out some. All I'm using is just regular play sand, a couple dollars at the hardware store. I'm not too sure how this works as far as potting or anything like that. Just kind of experimenting with different things as we go along here. Bag here is not, I'm not advertising or anything like that. It's just a leftover bag. I'm mixing the remnants of my own kind of compost soil mix and leftovers from the summer in the bag. Alright, that looks pretty good. We got quite a bit of sand in there, hopefully not too much. Hard to tell here, but it looks a little fluffier than it did before. It's not compacting like it was, so that should be good. So the first problem I came across, this is, I guess, ponytail bonsai tree. I believe I picked this up at Home Depot, $12 or $13, and it came in a little ceramic bowl, which I've already broken off of it. I noticed it was growing real good for a long time, and since it cooled down, it's kind of gotten dull and just not putting out the growth it was before, since the last cutback. So I went ahead and I broke the bowl and removed all that gravel and discovered that the root ball in it was just absolutely soaked and still pulling off rotten roots here. You can see there it's destroyed the original root ball, but there is still good rooting. So I think what I'm going to try and do is make a few nicks in the tree and bury it just a little bit deeper, and we're going to keep it a little drier as it recovers through this little shock, transplant and abuse, and give it some time to try and work on its root system itself. Give me just a minute. I'm going to grab a blade and get started. All I'm using here is just a carpet blade, carpet knife, which you didn't see, changing the blade out and wash the blade with antibacterial soap and peroxide, make sure it's clean. And this here is the remnants from, well, you can see the water pouring out on my floor. But you know, they pack these in this gravel, and I never really liked that. It looks good, but you can't never see what's going on under the gravel. You can see this is sopping wet. It just is draining water, and that's even after I don't think I've watered this tree for almost a month, and it's still retaining that much moisture. It didn't come with any drainage, no drainage under the price sticker. So, you know, if you get one of these, I recommend just taking it out of this pot and, you know, get yourself a nice bonsai pot, something like that that's got good drainage, and I recommend repotting it soon. So I'm going to do here, I'm going to pick out a new pot. Since it doesn't have very many roots right now. That one here, drainage. Since it ain't got very many roots right now, I'm going to put it in something a little smaller, and that way I can bury it just a little bit deeper where I put my notches and kind of keep them roots together and give them some time to dig deeper and build themselves back up, and hopefully develop some new roots out of it, and we'll see how it goes. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go along the base and just scrape away few little chunks of the bark just to expose a little bit of meat on the tree. That way, where it comes in contact with the dirt, and again, I don't know a lot of the science behind it, I just understand how it works. You know, some roots should form out of there. Just got myself on the thumb, so be careful when trimming. I think I am going to use a little bit of rooting hormone. I've had luck with or without it, but since it's already kind of had a moisture problem, I'm going to err on the side of being a little more careful with it. All I use is that right there, Home Depot. I think it's like $3 a bottle. I've had real good luck with it. Just about anything I've put it on, I've rooted with it. Can't really dip this like a cutting, so just going to use my finger here and kind of rub and dab some on the fleshy parts of the tree. Hoping you guys can see this alright. Again, I don't have anything fancy here. My phone is hanging from the ceiling by some 99-cent craft wire and a plant stick. Working with what I got. So there we go. You can see on here, just went around the fleshy parts and rubbed it on there. And from my understanding, what it does is it helps keep some of that sitting moisture off of it, and it protects it from funguses and eventually catching rot. Let me dig a little more out of this. This appears to be a propagate also, probably from another ponytail such as mine. See, the middle is kind of rotted out of this tree already. I don't know if that's from the cutting or the moisture or what, but alright. So I'm going to put a little bit of soil down on the bottom of the pot for the roots to grow into and hopefully spread out. Again, you seen the mix I did there. A little bit of play sand, and just nothing special about the dirt. It's old leftover dirt from all my outside pots and many repottings here inside the house. And now it's got that sand mix and some styrofoam pieces in it to help with the drainage, which I'm hoping will help this also, because these trees don't like a lot of moisture. They tend to err on the side of liking to be a little bit dry, and I'm not really packing it down very hard, just kind of tapping it and give it a little shake there, loosen this stuff up here in the bottom, just enough to support the tree so it can sit comfortably. And that's it. I'll make more updates on further videos if it starts dying or what it starts to do. It actually appears like it may have some new shoots wanting to form. These knobs on the side have been growing over the last few months, so I'm hoping they're like bamboo at all. They'll just kind of pop out of there and start growing like these. So I'll water this one here in a bit. I'm gonna sitting down here out of the way, and and some other things we're gonna work on here. I cut my ficus back to add some room, and it looks like I've lost two of my growth shoots up the braid part. So I've got two main shoots that are growing real healthy and two that have seemed to die away. So I'm going to take some of the healthier pieces of it, and we're going to try and pot them with rooting hormone and soil and just water, and see how we can get the roots to form. here, these are some of my propagates. If you get into doing anything, these are real easy. These are from my purple wandering Jew, and I have to say these are one of the easiest plants to propagate. Basically no effort at all. You don't have to know a thing about anything to get these guys to take off. Cut them off the mother plant, stick them in the dirt, and they'll grow themselves. I think these have been in these cups for about 2 to 3 weeks now. They're getting on the dry side. But you can see this one has started growing little baby offshoots. I think what happened, I think I killed the leader or the tip on that one. We're going to pop him out of the dirt and see if we got any roots that have developed. I've run into with these, several of them. I've got several hanging pots around here where these guys have grown 4 or 5 inches over the last couple of weeks, and when I pull the shoots out, they haven't developed a single root, but they're still growing just healthy, happy plants. And judging by the tug on this, yep, there you have it. They got roots. And all you have to do, like I said, that's probably anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. I don't remember exactly. Those are pretty good roots. Like I said, these are simple. All I did with these, I threw some dirt in these little red cups. I cut these off the one. I had a massive one. I've split into probably 50 different pots and given most of them away. A little bit of dirt in the cup. Get the dirt damp. Then stick the shoot in there, and that's it. They root and they go. No rooting hormone, nothing special. They're pretty simple as far as that goes. For this one here, I'm gonna take a few of these guys since they've grown some roots, and this one doesn't have any drainage. Give me just one moment. We're gonna put a hole in the bottom of that one. Alright, forgive me, I hope video editing will take out some of these delays. Nothing special here, got a hammer and a screw. Generally ceramic will break very easily, so just tapping the screw. Looks like this was designed to break pretty easy. Tapping it through the little indent they left there, exposing the draining hole. So now I'm going to take some of these vines here and we're going to pop them out of their cups and move them onto a pot that we can sit on a table, in a window, or anywhere. Now you can see this one here has grown roots out of 2 different areas. And these little, you'll see these a lot in here, these little red cups, especially these little shot glass size ones, come quite handy when working with plants or propagating and things like that. They're cheap, they're disposable. For $1 you get about 20 of them. You can grow your seeds in it. Same thing there, several root systems. And you can reuse them until they break down to nothing. Same thing with this one, multiple root systems. Basically, my understanding is everywhere that there's a leaf or a bud, when you peel those off and you plant them, that is where your root systems will develop from. Either from your cut, like you see here at the bottom where it was cut off, or from the next node. You see some new roots forming off of that leaf. And again, a lot of vines are very, very easy to propagate. I found just about any vine, the same thing. You just clip them off, some nice damp soil, some good light, and within a few weeks you'll have a whole new plant. They now with these purple ones, using just a mason jar or a bottle of water, I've seen these, I've had these root in here under the lights. They've started spitting out roots within 2 to 3 days, and if you let them go longer than a week or two, I've noticed the roots will kind of form this white, almost slime casing over them. And I lost several of them after that. I tried washing them and then moved them over to the dirt, and they didn't bounce back at all. So I'm gonna do here is just put a little bit of dirt in my pot. Just enough to sit them down in there. And what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to put a post in the center eventually, and using some bonsai wire, I'm going to train this one kind of climb upright before it cascades over. So all I'm doing here, just kind of sitting them down in there, pressing the cut end down just a little bit, not very hard, because these guys will snap very easily or you'll damage your roots. The good part is that even if you do that, if you keep them in place and finish what you're doing, and after you water them and keep them in good light, generally they'll bounce back right back and grow a new set of roots. So now I got them kind of clustered around the middle here. I would want to keep them that way, close together, so I can keep them climbing up the pole. And when that time comes, as they get a little bit bigger and we wind them around it, you can do several things. Really anything you want to. You can make them climb straight, you can make them twist and spiral, whatever you want. Now, both those vines, they look great when they're hanging, and I've seen a lot where they have this moss pole through the center of them, and they look good, but in the stores they don't put a lot of care into them. You know, they're sat up there for display to sell, and they don't take the time to make them look real pretty. They just they end up looking overgrown and clustered. So eventually we'll get to one of those projects, and I'll show you how to make a moss pole for less than a couple dollars with some materials from a dollar store or Walmart. And there's that. I got all my little baby vines kind of in the center, nothing special. In a later video we'll make the little pole that they'll be climbing, and I'll show you some different tricks as they get longer, as far as making them spiral or braid or just about anything you can do with them. Alright, now my next undertaking is my big ficus here. drag him out. Now, if you recognize him from the tour, you can see I've chopped off quite a bit of him. You know, this is my pile of healthy and dead leftovers. I'm going to try and make some propagates from. It seems these two sections of the tree, for whatever reason, just haven't made it. So I have these two sections that are actively growing, new growth and new leaves coming off the top. So I'm going to work with those and hopefully make a new canopy out of these two. What I think some of it was, he was potted in a hurry with just some potting soil, or not even potting soil, topsoil, and it wasn't the greatest stuff. And I think he's had his neglect and he's had his overcare and roundabout just about everything else. So I'm going to switch him out to about the same size pot. It's got a little better drainage and give him some actual potting soil. I'm going to try my new mix here and see how it goes. So all we're going to do here, I've already loosened him up. Kind of lift him up and keep as much of this in the pot as possible. Well, as you can see here, he's actually had some pretty good root growth, so I'm surprised to see that, so that's a good sign. Generally, if you keep your plants too moist, it causes the roots, they don't want to grow and they end up dying and rotting. And if you keep them too dry, they dry out and rot. And if they can't get enough air in the soil, they'll also retain too much moisture and rot and die. These all look generally pretty healthy. He's pretty root bound when I got him from the store and about half dead. So I think what I'm going to do, try to untangle this a little bit so we can keep these roots unbound in the new pot and give them some dirt to grow into. These big ones here are a mess. There we go. Get that little knot broken up. These seem to be nice, pretty healthy and pretty sturdy roots. Now, I am being a little rough on him here. Probably what will happen in the transplant process, since I've beaten his roots up a little bit and I'm changing him homes and soils and all that, he will probably go through a bit of a shock and start dropping some leaves. From my experience, this happens quite a bit, and don't give up on it if it starts dropping leaves. It's pretty obvious. You'll know the difference between shock and dead when it happens. They can drop leaves, but as long as their branches and things like that aren't clearly starting to die and rot, then stick with it. Give it some time to adjust. And I don't know the time frame on it, but sometimes they'll bounce right back. Sometimes it can take months. But as long as it's still healthy, it's putting a lot of energy into growing them new roots. And just give it a little bit of time and stick with it, and you should start to see some new growth. I've gone through this a lot working with my hibiscus trees, and got them from the hardware store. They were root bound and starting to die. Got them out, beat the roots up, got them untangled. They dropped all their leaves, looked ratty till almost the end of summer, and then they started to bounce back right before we started getting in frost danger. And then they're not hardy. I'll be showing you guys some pictures of the flowers and hopefully some blooms here soon. They are Hawaiian double bloom hibiscuses. As far, I don't know their scientific name, but they produce beautiful flowers, and I have red, pink, and peach. And even once I moved them inside, they still went through a little bit of shock, and lost their tops and leaves again, and over about the course of a month and a half, I kind of gave them their own area in my room here, and put them under my UV lights and my plant lights and all that, and just gave them special attention and care and regular fertilizer, and bought really good dirt. And in about a month and a half time, my pink ones in particular, they are growing like weeds now. I've actually had to crop them back some and stop them from flowering to save space in the room. And recently I just cut back my peach ones to give me some space and to allow them to start making some new growth and kind of shorten them up a little bit to keep them indoors. So I need to top off the dirt here. Got it repotted, and in my next set of videos, I'll keep you guys posted and updates on how he's doing and how my soil mix is working out for me. And I'm gonna say that's all for now. I got a lot of stuff in here, a lot of projects, so I'm gonna be kind of making short videos as I go and going over the seeds I'm growing, showing them from start to growth and following along with that, and different things as I get them set up. I'm in the process of moving everything around. It's gotten a little colder outside and there's no heat source for this room, so I'm getting a lot of cold air from my windows, so I've got to move everything out. We're going to seal those windows off, and I'm going to keep gradually changing everybody's soil over to something better draining and a little bit better, and just follow along and we'll see how that goes. And maybe I can learn some stuff from you, and maybe you can learn some things from me. Thanks for checking me out, and I will be posting a video here soon. Thank you guys. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. I'll give you a little sweep through with my handy dandy homemade ceiling tripod. Over here, if you can see them past the glare, are my two pink hibiscuses. That's one of my peaches, and the other two are in a window in another room. And this is an apple tree my son made me. I told him we're going to put it in the garden and see if it'll grow. You'll probably see him on future videos. He's my little helper and co-host. And oh yeah, one last thing. This man, I tell you, this thing smells so good. This is a hyacinth bulb. Two of them I just sat on a pot, and they got bumped to the back and forgot about them for the longest time. And I've never seen anything just bloom right out of its bulb, but this one did. And I don't know, to me it reminds me of popcorn for some reason, but I think it's cute. It's producing a lot of flowers, and it looks like its friend over here is getting ready to do the same. So I'll keep you posted on that, and that's all for now. So I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.